fun.
You can see the white flag. One more lap to go for Jimmy Vasser. Pruitt still holding off Greg Moore. Jimmy Vasser, just a pure race driver. It's all he's ever wanted to do. It's all he pays any attention to.
Jimmy told me the other day at the beach, he said, I've been racing since I was 5 years old. Said I started then with my dad running little quarter midgets, and he said we used to race all through the summer. His dad's got to be pretty proud right now.
Absolutely. Mom's here watching him, may see him take his first IndyCar win that she's able to see. He, of course, won at Miami. She was not there. And they continue to maintain position at the front of the field of Vasser, Pruitt, Greg Moore. Christian Fittipaldi has just made a move on Stefan Johansson, and Christian has moved into 5th place. Johansson down to 6th. And DeFerrin has dropped back as well. He's now down in 7th place. We've got the radio open on Jimmy Vasser's two-way communications. That channel is open.
They probably don't want to talk to him too much right now. They want to break that concentration. When he comes across the start-finish line, I think they'll start talking a little bit more.
Talking about history as we watch this final lap unfold. Jack Brabham drove the Cooper Climax around here that he started the rear engine revolution with at Indy. And here's the final corner as Jimmy Vasser lines up victory number 2 in the Indy cars and takes the twin checkered flags here at Surfers Paradise, Australia.
Has done. White flag for Jimmy Vasser. He goes by Andre Ribeiro, who was so much of a part of this race in the closing laps. Now on the backstretch. And now he'll be listening to that Honda motor, watching his Firestone tires. Once again, that little twitch on the backstretch that we've been watching all day. Onto the high banks, past the pit in, and the crowd comes to its feet as checkers and American flags wave.
Flustered, unruffled guy down here. He was walking around, wasn't looking for cover, didn't need an umbrella. You could almost see him saying, hey, what's a little sprinkle to a guy who used to play for the big bucks in the rain. He's got another winner here going today, no question.
So as Alex Zanardi starts his final lap, we'll continue to track those battles behind the lead of the race. And Zanardi, looking for his very first win in the Indy cars, comes out of Formula One. Has a faltering start in the first race of the season, sits on the pole at Rio, and finally looks for a win. There's 2nd place. And 3rd place, Christian Fittipaldi, with Al Unser Jr. well back now. None of the top 4 in contest. Parker Johnstone sits in 5th position, followed by Ray Hall, then Ribeiro, then Mark Blundell, then Stefan Johansson, and Robbie Gordon. But here's the man of the hour as he makes the final turn around the carousel here and on to the main stretch. And Alex Zanardi, as he looks ahead, takes it way over to the right, then comes over to take the checkered flag. 2 1/4 miles to go. Zanardi, then Vasser, then Michael, then Herta, Bobby Rahal, Fernandez, Christian, Ribeiro, Greg Moore, Blundell. That's the way they come across the line. No changes yet. Who's going to make the move to try and grab that extra point? Doesn't seem like it. But Moore is in fact the one. Moore gets into the barrier. That's going to be very costly in terms of the rookie fight. So Greg Moore jumps out, and that brings everybody behind him. Blundell, Johnstone, Unser Jr. forward. So they're all going to pick up better points than they would have. Greg Moore appears to be okay. Sure, he takes off the wheel. And 2 other cars, Parker Johnstone and Magnuson.
No, that's
L. That's L. Junior and Parker Johnstone get together. That's going to be costly. Ribeiro's in trouble. What a final lap this has become. So Zanardi will head for the checkered flag and take the win just ahead of Jimmy Vasser. Flag flies. There is 1 more lap to go in the IndyCar season. Can Bryan Herta hang on for that lap?
Well, remember one thing, too. Zanardi's got to get right behind him, and then he's got to find a way past him. He's got to be able to pass him. Brian can't afford to make any mistakes here.
Zanardi is there. He can strike. Jimmy Vasser is in a position that is almost unassailable in the championship right now. He will come home with first championship for Jimmy Vasser. Brian Herta, United States. Jimmy Vasser, United States. Two new names, both from the U.S. in this series that has become so international. So the battle for the PPG Cup. Look at that. Here he comes, and he gets him. Can he get him back? Can he hang on?
Oh, look at this.
Down through the boards on the final lap. Alex Zanardi, remember twice we've had the change on the final lap of the race this year. Alex Zanardi at the top of the hill, an area you would not normally try and pass. Ducks the inside of Brian Herta, goes all the way off the course on the right-hand side, and Alex Zanardi with a brilliant move takes the checkered flag from the pole and the...
Can't have two better pilots. That's right, and I'll tell you what, very important, Gary.
And Lee White just passed on the message. This has got to be a heartbreaker, denying you a chance for the last couple of laps. Got to be heartbreaking.
Well, for sure, Mike really drove his heart out. The car was great. We really had the car to beat. It's unfortunate we had the flat, but we'll get him next time.
Boy, this Swift is something on the ovals, guys.
Now let's take a look. You see the safety trucks to the right of your screen as Paul Tracy heads for the flag. There is Juan Fangio. Apparently a massive engine meltdown for Fangio brought out the yellow flag. Checkered flags wave. First victory for Penske Racing since Vancouver in 9 waves. 1 lap to go. And now Alex Zanardi has clear track in front of him. Whoop, take that back. You still got Fernandez out there. Jourdain pulled down and slowed to let the race leaders by.
That's a pretty big gap unless something goes wrong or he starts to run low on fuel. I don't think Gilles de Ferran can make up that gap.
A little over a mile to go for Alex Zanardi, looking for his 5th career win, his 2nd of the year, following his win at Long Beach, California. And another step up the championship ladder as the stretch run begins here at the Grand Prix of Cleveland, with races to follow at Toronto and Michigan, then a week's break before the final run to the season finale in September. Off the final corner he comes. The white flag is put away, and the checkers wave for fastest Scott in the series since the late Jim Clark. White flag, 1 more lap, with his 2nd consecutive victory in Offering. To turn 6 and 7. 7 turns to go for Dario Franchitti. Andretti, Pruitt, and Zanardi remain in that order behind him.
We've seen it a lot with guys like Nigel Mansell. How many F1 races before he won his first one? A lot of times people have said it about Brian Herta. You can say the same about Dario. Once they learn how to win, to get that monkey off their back, it often comes in droves. This team's really clicking. He's been qualifying exceptional all year. Really ran, a really smart race today.
The most successful driver for Team Cool Green since Jacques Villeneuve went to the title with them in 1995, winning the Indy 500 along the way. The checkered flags wave. Dario.
Brian Herta's stretching it out a little bit here.
A 1:13.3 to a 1:13.6. Herta over Zanardi.
Now what he's got to pay attention here, do not make a mistake, and in those spots where I can possibly get past, I am not going to leave that door open for Alex Zanardi.
It has been such a tough year for Brian Herta. He has been to the brink of this first victory so many times.
And on the radio to Herta, the instruction, don't look back.
He's pulling away a little bit. Gary, he's doing everything right here. He's making all the right moves. He's putting in great laps. He's got a little bit of a gap. sorry, Bob.
Top of the hill, Zanardi drops back slightly. Is he planning something? Or does he just have nothing up his sleeve for Bryan Herta?
They've got one critical outbreaking spot right down here. Bryan has got to make sure he keeps that door closed for Alex Zanardi.
Here it
he
comes.
goes to the inside.
Turn 11.
Alex, he counters him perfect.
Zanardi on the power off the corner. Squirming under acceleration to try to catch Bryan Herta, but he will not be able to. First career win.
It's going to be a very dicey last lap. I don't think he can do it. 1.9 seconds was the interval across the line as the white flag comes out. There's Michael Andretti in pursuit now. But remember, if the engine would falter at this moment, things could change. Oh, what a great gamble they've taken. And it looks like, in fact, it may pay off. Greg Moore up off of turn 3, now off of 4. Looking at the checkered flag. The gamble pays off. Greg Moore takes his 5th career. He saw it first 2 weeks ago. He sees it first again. White flag. Less than a mile to go for Montoya. And Montoya works down the backside. Jones, Tracy, D'Amato are nose to tail.
These guys aren't giving up, Paul.
Montoya slows, comes off the corner, takes the checkered flag.
Gidley, that's what caused him to go off. The reason he was so slow was just getting stuff off the tires and getting back up to speed. Nothing wrong with the car, just a problem with getting back up to speed.
Montoya through the first turn for the final time, looking very strong.
What a brilliant drive once again for Juan Montoya. He's conquered street courses, road courses, airport circuits, ovals, all in his first year in Champ Car competition. What an amazing young man he is. Tremendous car control, some of the fastest hands and reflexes I've ever seen, which has been echoed up and down the pit lane. Very disciplined, very focused.
Montoya works the final set of turns on this race course. Just one chicane separates him from victory. DeFerrin will come across the line nearly 9 seconds later as Montoya slowed slightly down. Winston Cup is next. Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, and the gang standing by.
Great job today, pal. Great job. You're the man. That was a hell of a job today.
And Chip Ganassi congratulates. There it is. Montoya now knows there's one lap to go in this timed race. The clock has in fact just run out as he crossed the line. So Montoya flashes across.
Plus 7.5. Plus 7.5.
Battle is back at second place. Carpentier and Vassar. Don't forget ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com, part of the Go Network. Final lap now for the entire field. White flag out to everybody. Battle still at second. Guzman runs alone in 4th. Then D'Amato, Castro Neves, and that battle between Tony Kanaan and Richie Hurd.
Even on this final lap, look at Montoya slide the car with a 7.5 second lead. He just never slows down, Paul.
Montoya working the final corners now. 7.5 seconds, as Chip Ganassi told him. Coverage coming from CBC.
Go easy, go easy. Don't worry. You're the man. Who's the man? You!
Bobby Rahal talking to Bryan Herta. And remember, Bryan Herta's future is very uncertain right now as well. This is going to go a long way to helping him close a deal for next year, but the indications have been for several races now that the likelihood of him being back in this car driving for Bobby Rahal seems to be slim.
There are only a handful of drivers in the world that compete at this level. The openings are few. These drivers are not only driving for position, but literally their careers, their futures. On that last lap, Bryan Herta pulled out another 0.3 of a second on Roberto Moreno. This is so important to his future. You know that he's pushing hard, but he can't afford to make a mistake. He just has to come down the hill now, get around the last corner, and then look for that checkered flag. A huge weight will come off of Bryan Herta's shoulders and hopefully open some doors for next year.
And it couldn't happen to a nicer man. Bryan Herta, a full mile an hour faster on the last lap. Looking now for his second career win. And first back-to-back winner at Laguna Seca since Paul Tracy did it in 1993 and 4.
Advance owing to the length of the race and the time that we're running. We are not going to be able to interview Dario Franchitti at the end of this run. But it looks like in one lap you will see him win, and you will see the championship go on to California Speedway in Fontana, California, as his battle with Montoya continues, and he will take the points lead to the race at Fontana. There he is, Dario Franchitti, working the last lap.
And the mindset for Dario Franchitti, very different than anyone else in this race. You can see the distance he's giving himself out to the walls, giving himself a few feet. He still has to stay on it, has to stay focused, has to concentrate. If he starts to slip out of concentration now for just a moment, he could throw it all away. But for Max Papis, Fernandez, and the group behind him, they're all pushing extremely hard.
Cristiano D'Amata comes into the pits. Of course, he has been reporting trouble. Paul Tracy will remain, if he remains in position, in third place in his ongoing battle with Michael Andretti in the points. But Dario Franchitti, who this year the Scotsman has proven to be the master of the temporary street circuits, and this is as tough as they come. In his quest for the championship, he has done everything required to this point, and he will leave here with 9 points over Juan Montoya and with the victory. Max Papis will now chase him to the line. Here comes Dario Franchitti, and Dario Franchitti takes the win at Surfers Paradise, the Gold Coast. Different ways. Going to tie the record for different winners thus far in the season. 1 mile to go for Juan Montoya. The Indianapolis 500 champion may make it back-to-back wins here. Indy and then Milwaukee. And Toyota is about to see their very first victory. They have tried so hard and so long, and now they see a checkered flag.
Congrats to go for Roberto Moreno. D'Amata drops back off of Breck. Might be looking to take a run on him coming off of here.
I think for all three of these drivers on the last lap, all they want to do is find the finish line. It's a personal best for each. Sure, they'll attack, but they can't afford to make a mistake and throw it away. If D'Amata gets an opportunity, certainly he'll take a run at Kenny Breck, but not at the expense of making a mistake and not ending up on the podium.
Michael Andretti currently 4th. He'll move into 2nd in that points fight, 22 points behind Roberto Moreno. But Roberto Moreno is the name you want to hear now.
Only 2 corners to go now.
Everything that's been necessary, Roberto's done it. He's probably crying already in that car. He's an extraordinarily emotional man. The final 2 turns, Roberto Moreno turns onto the pit straight, and Roberto Moreno has done it. Finally, in 9 races, 8 different.
So they don't think they're going to get any break in that respect, and they think they're going to make it to the end. I asked Chip Ganassi about Juan Montoya. I said, how close? And he just said, real close.
White flag is out. If there's nobody in the pits, they're all going to run for it, and they may need that downhill.
And Jan said 3/4 of a gallon. Well, keep in mind, that's only a couple of corners here at Laguna, but as you said, at least it's all downhill from the top of the corkscrew back to the pit lane.
Paul Tracy just spun it over in turn 2. He was trying it again with Servi, and then he lost it.
Oh, look at him chop in front of Christian Fittipaldi.
Remember, each of these are points. They're so important, just 4 to go after this in terms of races. So he can't afford to lose anything. That was costly. Top of the hill for Helio Castroneves. Joe DeFerrin's right there with him. Franchitti is certainly going to try to take a look at DeFerrin as they come down the hill. Again, whether or not all engines run all the way to the bottom, that's a question. Franchitti looks like he is out of the contest coming down the hill. He's going to come down in 3rd. Helio Castroneves, this is the final turn. He's only got to get up a brief uphill here, and he will have his 3rd career win.
White flag, 1 to go.
Comes out.
He has been so powerful on the ovals this year. He's going to do it again. Montoya
one more pass of the backstretch, and he will have his 10th career win in hand. And that's going to tie him for 9th on the all-time list. Rutherford, Sneva, Unser, those kind of names. Checkered flag.
Praise the Lord. You're the man. You are the